In 1980s Nigeria, one name struck more fear than the president's Lawrence Anini. He was more than a criminal. He was a legend, a phantom whose exploits haunted Bendel State and beyond. Markets closed, early streets emptied at dusk, and travel became a gamble with fate. Anini's reign exposed the government's impotence, making the military regime look powerless. He was both a villain and, to some, a folk hero rumored to throw stolen money into markets, a Robin Hood for the desperate. His continued freedom was a daily reminder of a broken system where the protectors might be the enablers. To the state, he was a menace to the poor, a symbol of rebellion. The legend of Anini became a national crisis, forever etching his name into Nigeria's collective memory. Lawrence Anini was born into poverty on the outskirts of Benin City, his dreams stifled by hardship. Forced out of school, he learned survival on the streets, first as a taxi driver, then as a hustler. The city's glaring inequality fueled his resentment, pushing him toward crime. In Benin's motor parks, he found a brotherhood of the disillusioned, learning the art of intimidation and the value of connections. He quickly realized the police could be bribed or manipulated. Corruption was the rule, not the exception. This insight transformed him from a struggling driver into a cunning criminal, ready to exploit a broken system. The seeds of the notorious Anini were sown in poverty, resentment, and systemic decay. Anini's rise was no accident. He built a loyal gang, led by his ruthless lieutenant, Monday Osunbor. Their operations were meticulously planned, targeting banks and convoys with military precision. Anini's intelligence network, including corrupt police, kept them steps ahead of the law. Their crimes escalated: daylight robberies, ambushes, and brazen attacks on authority figures. Anini became a symbol of invincibility, terrifying the public and humiliating the government. He led from the front, personally executing those who resisted, including police officers. His war was no longer just about money. It was a direct challenge to the state's power. The public watched in fear and fascination as Anini's legend grew. For a time, it seemed he was untouchable. Anini's ability to evade capture was rooted in police corruption, embodied by Deputy Superintendent George Iyamu. Iyamu, a senior officer, supplied Anini with weapons, intelligence, and protection in exchange for a share of the loot. This alliance allowed Anini's gang to operate with impunity, always one step ahead. Corruption ran deep. Other officers leaked information, sabotaged investigations, and freed arrested gang members for bribes. Honest police were powerless, blocked by their own colleagues. The public's trust in law enforcement shattered as the truth emerged. The protectors were partners in crime. The Anini-Iyamu partnership became a symbol of Nigeria's institutional decay. Despite a nationwide manhunt, Anini remained elusive until betrayal from within his circle changed everything. In December 1986, police, tipped off by an informant, surrounded his Benin City hideout. There was no dramatic shootout. Anini, wounded and unsuspecting, was captured without resistance. His arrest sent shockwaves through Nigeria. The nation's most feared criminal was finally in chains. From his hospital bed, Anini confessed on live television, exposing the police officers who aided him. He named George Iyamu as his chief collaborator, detailing the web of corruption that protected him. The revelation stunned the country, confirming the rot within the police force. Anini, Osunbor, Iyamu, and others faced a military tribunal. The evidence was overwhelming: the verdict, inevitable death by firing squad. The era of Anini ended, but the wounds he exposed ran deep. Anini's execution in March 1987 was meant to restore order, but his legacy endured. His story forced Nigeria to confront the reality of police corruption and institutional decay. Public trust in law enforcement was shattered, and calls for reform echoed nationwide. Anini's life was a product of poverty and inequality, a cautionary tale of what happens when opportunity disappears. To some, he was a villain; to others, a symbol of rebellion against a corrupt system. His saga remains a mirror reflecting Nigeria's struggles with justice, power, and inequality. Decades later, the name Anini still evokes fear, and a reminder of the dangers of